Today, I'm going to tell you a bit about an easy trick that I use on all of my sales calls. My name is Andrew Barbuto, and I'm a senior agency lead for an ad tech company called Basis and the author of an upcoming B2B sales book called Top Sales Producer. The trick that we're going to cover today is providing context at the start of your calls. So what do I mean by that? Context could be a few different things, but I'm usually referring to giving the team that you're going to be speaking to background on your history with their company or with previous conversations. Go through your CRM and see if there's any past history between you and the company that you're speaking to. Once you've identified those points, you simply need to give that information up front. So for example, let's say that your companies worked together back in 2018. Find out exactly how you guys work together. And then, rather than just starting the call, acting as if you're a complete stranger, say, thanks for taking some time to chat. I know that our companies worked together back in 2018 in a managed service relationship, and the people that were working together on both sides had since left, but I'm happy to give you a bit of context on the nature of that partnership, what's changed since then, and then we could talk about what could potentially make sense for us to partner. By giving that context, even though it was 7 years ago, it's still better than going in completely cold. Let's say there's no past history. How did you get the call? Was it through a referral? If so, then just tell them about the referral. Hey, thanks so much for taking my meeting. I spoke to your CEO, and what he or she thought that might be valuable to you guys is our specific healthcare capabilities, and so that's what we'll cover off on today. Giving that context, again, repositions you from just another random vendor to a person that's worth listening to. It also gives them that background that, okay, they need to actually pay attention to this because their CEO is the one that was interested. They might ask them about it. Let's say you did not get a referral, there was no history between your companies. How then could you position yourself from just a random vendor to somebody who is worth listening to, an authority on the subject? The way you do it is by referencing your research. So the way that you would approach this is go to their website, find out any specific services that they offer, put their name into Google, find out recent articles that they've been written about, and then you just reference what you found out at the start of the meeting. Thank you so much for taking this meeting. I was doing some research and I noticed that you guys have been making big investments in artificial intelligence, or I know that you guys had recently won some big clients. What I want to talk to you about today is like how we can help enhance what you're doing. The next thing that you can do is to give insights. Teach them something that they wouldn't have learned otherwise, but is valuable to them. By doing that, you're able to earn the right to ask them questions. You want it to be a give and take, where you give them some information, then you ask them a question and they give you some information. This should not be a one-sided thing. You could say something like, I know you mentioned that you guys are using spreadsheets. I have a lot of my clients are using spreadsheets as well. Some of the feedback that I've received from them is that there's a lot of manual work. They tend to make a lot of errors, and it's just not a very efficient process. Is that your experience as well? Giving that context, it shows them that you're asking for a reason. You're not just asking to ask. It also makes you an authority because you have experience in this category. Another example would be by speaking about your own experience. So this is a great way to immediately build credibility. To give you an example, my current company, Basis, offers software to help with workflow automation for agencies and advertisers. My previous company used one of our competitors. When I first started at the company, I didn't have any of my own client stories to tell. So what I did was talk about my personal experience at my previous company and all of the challenges that I faced, which I knew that my prospects could relate to, and then talked about how much better things would have been if we had our software that we offer at my company right now. I would say something like, I use the competitive platform, it's super manual. None of us really wanted to use it, but we had no choice. Before I joined this company, I was always confused as to why there were so many different platforms that were regularly used to execute digital media, why none of them were connected. And what that led to was that a lot of manual errors. We lost tons of money at my previous company just from doing errors. When I came to Basis, it was an aha moment. I saw our technology, I was like, okay, this is the right way to do digital media. By telling a story like that, it added context and credibility to the solution. Even though I was brand new to my company, I was talking about my experience, which could relate to their own experience. So the way that you want to structure your meetings are, first, build some credibility by giving context for what preceded this meeting. From there, reference your research. Go back and forth, make sure that you're pinpointing specifically what they want to talk about, get them to engage as much as possible, transfer all of your notes to your CRM so that the next time that you engage with them, you're able to reference those notes. This will allow you to immediately build credibility. What this requires you to do though, is to be an expert. You need to build expertise on your company, your industry, your offerings, and most importantly, your customers' businesses. If you want step-by-step instructions on how to do that, watch this video up here, and you can download the first 3 chapters of my book, Top Sales Producer, How to Crush Your Sales Quota, on my website, andrewbarbuto.com. You could also check out my meeting hack on how to secure next steps in 5 minutes by going to andrewbarbuto.com/resources. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. And always remember, if you're not helping, you're not selling. Thanks.